Merry Meet. About a week to 2 weeks ago, I made a video talking about the change in my path. How, with all the recent research that I've done on Druids, that what I wanted out of my spiritual journey was more complex than what the Druids were seeming to be. I took on the label of Warrior Witch. Well, I have received some comments about my path, and this video is to put some of these comments to rest. A lot of the comments were about the warrior aspect. Some people were saying that I am thus going to be more aggressive, more negative, that I'm not going to be a good pagan. And these bothered me. They were reciting the reed, telling me that I'm negative, I'm going to be harmful, and that. And the reed is really not pagan in my eyes. You see, the Celtic people were warriors. They were very proud warrior people. They weren't bloodthirsty barbarians. No, not by a long shot. But there were people that were great warriors, and they fought for what they believed in. And, I mean, we have found many Celtic burial mounds where men and women were buried with their weapons and their armor. It was to show that being a grand warrior was important to them. I'm Scotch-Irish by descent, and so my ancestors were these Celts. And so part of my path is to honor my ancestors. And surely there was probably a few that were warriors. And so I want to embrace that aspect of my ancestors. I have a sword, and I showed you my shield, and I'm going to practice a little bit with those, and in doing that, I will connect with my ancestors, and it will be a good physical part of my spirituality. Just because somebody is a warrior does not mean that they are hostile. Does not mean that they're negative, aggressive, and such. The funny thing is, since I have taken on the Warrior Witch label, I've been handling things calmer than I used to be. I believe that I have found a more fitting path for me where I've answered some of those questions that were in my life. So when people are trying to say that I am going to be worse than I used to be, they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. A warrior is a fighter, and a lot of the warriors defended their community, their village, and that's how I want to look at myself. I am not going to be out aggressively attacking people, but what I will be doing is defending what is important to me. One aspect of me that isn't going to change is the pagan community as a whole. Now that will still stay very important to me. And so when forces inside and outside of paganism are going to be disruptive to paganism, I will fight. I will raise my voice. I will raise my hand and I will fight back. And there's nothing wrong with that. I am going to be more of a protector than a hunter. That's the way I'm looking at it. Because I have said that I am a warrior witch, there's been a few comments about the witch aspect as well. Whereas the warrior aspect was the more physical manifestation of my spirit and my journey, the witch was going to be the more spiritual, mental part of my journey. And people were stating that most of my magic, most of my spirituality will be dark and negative, and cause people great trouble and stress and all that. And again, I have gone the opposite direction of what these people are saying. I just got done making anointing oil. I did the video about the smudge sticks. I have been doing research and working out a way to make sacred water. I work on both sides. I work in the shadows and the grays, because there are times where we must be positive and fight darkness. And sometimes you have to get a little nasty. Sometimes you have to embrace the darker side in life to survive, to succeed. A lot of the people that have been making comments were Wiccan, and they're telling me that I should be shunned because of my negativity. I firmly believe that if you are going to go out and just shun and ignore anything that's negative, you're just going to let it build up. You let enough negative, dark forces around you build up strength, there's going to come a time where when you can't shun them, but they're going to be so powerful, you don't stand a chance. Excuse me. And so I believe that I must be aggressive against the darkness when the darkness wants to raise up its face against me, physically and spiritually. So some of my magics might seem negative to some, but I am not going to be causing magic to outright harm people. I don't want to do that. But I believe in the laws of retribution. You harm me or harm the people important to me, and I will be giving, sorry for using the Hindu term, karma, a little push in the right direction. I've done my research, on what they consider to be traditional witches, which are not your Wiccan witches. They don't hide how they feel. They don't hold grudges. They don't follow these codes of rules. Sometimes they just have to fight fire with fire and get a little nasty. And that's just the way I'm going to view it. So I am a warrior witch. That is my path. And I am trying to be more respectful to everybody else's path. And so maybe I deserve some of the comments, because I have been very judgmental in the past when I see things that don't fit or didn't fit the pagan image that I see. But I am turning over a new leaf, and I am not trying to impose my beliefs on any other person, which I guess is one of the things that also irks me so much, you know, because in my past I have seen things that I disagreed with, and I try to give my understanding of something, and I really wasn't trying to push my beliefs on people. I was trying to explain to them that from what I have read about said subject pertaining to paganism, that is kind of in opposition. And so I fueled comments about that. And I know I have made a lot of comments about how the eclectic Wiccans just seem to have gone astray. And I've been trying to be more respectful for them. But again, in my research, it just seems that there is a major difference between American Wicca and British Wicca. And I think I have a lot more respect for those that study a more British Wiccan approach compared to the eclectic American approach, which, is really messed up in my opinion. So anyway, that's all I better say right now. I have some work I need to get done. So everybody, take care. Be at peace.